I mean, it seemed like a movie. Imagine this guy standing on the back of a boat trying to reel in a 400-pound marlin, and there are waves like literally crashing over him as he's trying to hold it together.
I was fighting the marlin, and I briefly looked over my shoulder to see, and I could see that there was water sloshing around there, and knew immediately that there was something wrong. When the captain showed up with the life jackets, the little orange U-shaped ones, and I remember thinking, I'm actually going to need this. And we put them on, and within maybe 2 minutes, we were swimming in the water with those life jackets on. Seeing a boat just disappear into the blue is not something you want to see. And the sensation of being untethered with nothing to hold on to at the mercy of the ocean is a pretty scary feeling. The four of us were in the water, and the captain had told us that he talked to his friends and would be there in a half hour. And we agreed that that was the best course of action, was to stay put.
Every expert I spoke to said that the safest thing to do would have been to stay put at the site of the boat sinking. And yet after a couple of hours with no boats showing up, it started to dawn on them that they might be in the water for a while. And I think it was about that point that they realized that they were going to have to do something to survive.
Some minutes later, a helicopter came and hovered between us and land. And at that point, I thought, this is somebody here to rescue us. And I started swimming as hard as I could towards that helicopter, waving my arms, but we were too far away for them to see anything. And I remember looking back, knowing that we need to stay together, and I didn't see them. And the helicopter had flown away, and at that point, thought that our best option would be to start swimming towards the island. During those moments where we couldn't see land, you know, those were the moments where I thought, this could be it. We may not make it out of this. Almost immediately after having that thought enter my head, I would just think, I need to keep swimming. The only thing we can do is keep swimming. And that's what we did. Those were tough moments, but we were always in verbal contact. We were just talking to each other, reassuring each other, and it was almost as if one of us would be questioning whether we were doing the right thing, going the right direction, and the other would be reassuring, and it would just go back and forth, and we kept doing that for hours.
One interesting aspect of their relationship and their survival was the way that when one was down, the other was up, and the one that was up would find a way to kind of lie to the one who was down about how well things were going to help get them through.
The other low point was when we got to land, and we were close enough to get out of the water, but we couldn't because it was basically sheer cliff.
They've been in the water for 12 hours at this point. They're so close to land, and then they get there, and it's a sheer cliff wall. I can't even imagine how devastating that would be to think you were that close to being saved, and then to realize, oh no, we got to keep going until we can find some kind of a beach.
It just had to push through until we could get to a place where we could get out of the water. You know, it probably took us another hour or two to swim from where we first got close to land to where we could get out of the ocean. After we made contact with the police, they told us we don't know anything. We're still searching. Sorry, that was actually that was a low point too. We had been in the hospital for maybe 10, 15 minutes at that point. And I remember somebody coming in and telling us that they had found them and that they were on their way to the hospital. And maybe 45 minutes later, Griffith and Tim were next to us, and they were cleaning up our wounds, their wounds, and we were there together after almost 24 hours. A life jacket saved my life, and the first thing I do when I get onto a boat is I put my life jacket on. Even at the dock, it's on, and it's the first thing that I do. Ever since I was a kid, I've been on the water, canoes, kayaks, motorboats, and it's a special place for me, a place where I can relax and unwind, and I can't imagine not being on the water.